I'm quite surprised to see like the room almost fully full. Yes, she said, my name is Herlinda Garcia. I'm a Christians manager at TapNation. And first of all, I wanted to thank you all for being here to attend this presentation in which we are going to discuss about what are the keys of neuromarketing in business development. I hope it's going to be like an insightful but yet fun talk to hear during the next 30 minutes. And secondly, I wanted to thank the DevGAMM team and especially to Paulina, who was like the one that invited me to be here today. So let's get started. This is my baby, the first of all. I'm a former translator. This is what I studied. I studied Spanish, English, French, and Arab. But I didn't spend much time doing this, to be honest. It's a bit boring, and I kind of miss, creating connections with people and this kind of social part of the professional life. I also have been an artist for my whole life. I love drawing, tattooing, and I even did. And of course, I always have been a gamer. I decided to put here a Crash Bandicoot because he was like my very first crush from my childhood. And even though it might seem like it's not a quite useful hobby, it's led me to where I am today. Some years ago, I started in this beautiful industry at Wiwu, a Spanish company related to the mobile apps and games, and it's where I learned everything I know today. And 1 year ago, almost, it's been a quite beautiful ride. I started at TapNation, and during all this time, I have closed like an average of 20 deals. So I would say like it's been a quite joyful and fruitful path. So let's get started with the main reason you came here. Let's get started with the main definitions of these two terms we are going to see in this presentation. I don't know how many of you already have heard about neuromarketing, but it's actually that's something that it's super present in today's days. It's something that we consume, it's something that it's around us. Neuromarketing is a field of marketing that it's in charge of studying how our brains as consumers react to different stimuli that can be an advertisement, an experience, a product, or in this case, that would be the acquisition process when it comes to negotiations of human relationships overall. The neuromarketing, as it studies like some way more technical aspects about us, just like the heart rate, the eye tracking, that make us understand how we really react when it comes to this stimuli. This field, of course, help the companies way too much when it comes to make them to have a better position in the market and to have like a way more perfect advertisement or approach to their consumers. I didn't like to make this presentation way too technical, but still I wanted to include up there one of the most accepted definitions for neuromarketing for you to have as a reference. We lost the presentation, okay. A quick example I like to use for neuromarketing, just for us to understand how present it is in today's life, is that just imagine that you have been having like a super stressful day at the office. And the journey comes to an end, you go out of the office and you are walking down the street. And suddenly you are not even hungry, but you smell something quite delicious. That seems to be quite similar to you because suddenly you start craving for some McNuggets, a Big Mac, or something from McDonald's. You haven't even seen the McDonald's yet, but some meters later you find out this McDonald's. This smell, you are probably already imagining this smell, how it smells like. It's quite familiar for you all. We already know how this McDonald's smells is like. The fun fact about this smell is that this smell is not real. Like McDonald's food doesn't even smell like this. This smell is artificial. It's something that McDonald's created and patented, so they can implement it everywhere around the world. And every time you smell this, you can somehow link it with their food and start craving for their food. I think that the easiest example I could use for this one, I think it's something that to all of us happened at some point. So what is business development? I don't really spend much time on this one because I think that most part of you already know what is this about. Still, I wanted to include this most accepted definition for business development. I don't know how many business developers are in this room or related to this business or acquisitions managers or whatever. Maybe you can raise up your hand to... Okay, so only one? Okay, okay. This seems fair to me. Okay, so still, I will define a bit about this business development. We could define business development as the different amount of tasks that help a company to have a better position in the market or even grow as a company overall. These tasks can quite be very different among them, but still I wanted to include these three ones related to the mobile industry because I thought that these are like the more familiar, the more common ones. The first one would be like market research, which is about exploring the opportunities, knowing what's the trend, knowing what's working on the market out there. The second one would be lead generation, when it's time to, harassing people, looking for them, trying to catch their attention somehow. And the third one would be boosting growth, but basically is developing strategies to keep developing the negotiations and keep advancing on your relationship with your leads. And of course, closing the acquisition. So what we are going to see today, which is the main question you probably have in mind, what's the relationship between both? In this presentation, we are going to see what are the keys of neuromarketing that is going to help us and to understand why neuromarketing is key from the very first contact, from the very first approach you have with your lead, how to create a good relationship and solid relationship based in trust, and someone they can really trust on you. The second one point would be how neuromarketing is helping us to aim to the right spots when it comes to the negotiations, how to understand all leads' concerns and what are his main goals. And of course, how this is going to lead us to close this lead and not only close this deal, but to create a long-term relationship with this lead that is going to bring us a lot of new opportunities in future. Before getting started, actually, with the main points that are down here, I created this graphic, which includes the sales pipeline and sales funnel. And I wanted to link it with the neuromarketing keys we are going to see today for you to have like a more clear vision of which stages are involved in these keys. As you can see, there's a lead generation, awareness. And down here, this is the case we are going to see today. The very first one that for me would be one of the most important ones because it's around the whole relationship with your lead, not only in some specific stages, would be getting into all its mind that we are going to see in detail later. Then we have personalizing the experience, building trust, optimizing your offers, managing emotion and urgency, and intuitive decision making when it comes to finally close this deal. So we are getting into the main part of the presentation, finally. Getting into a lead's mind. As I was saying, this would be for me one of the main important aspects of neuromarketing keys into creating this relationship with your lead. Because of course, after all, your lead is also a human. So it's very important for us to analyze their reactions and behaviors and kind of understand what's going on in their mind. Of course, this is going to help us to set up a quite good and nice and loyal relationship from the beginning because they are going to see that you really care and they are not just a number in your pipeline. And as you can see, actually, neuromarketing has proved that triggering positive emotional responses will make the decision-making processes later even easier and faster. The second one actually would be tailoring the best experience, which is about personalization all around, which involves several points. The first one, I like it to, calling it diving into the basics, but it's basically what we all know as data mining. It's about exploring a bit what's going on the market, exploring a bit about your lead, what is this company about, what is his flagship, what are his other babies, and so far what he has on the store. The second one, I decided to call it Becoming the Next Basquiat, but it's basically about personalizing your approach. Try to avoid actually creating this kind of prefabricated and pre-made messages about, hey, I like your game, I want to buy your game, and so on, that we will see later in an example. Because the best way you can approach to your lead for is trying before and try to make a really personalized approach so he can really see that you care about his product, about his company, and so far about what he's looking for. The third one would be knowledge is power. Once you have this set up relationship with your lead, it would be quite important to understand not only what's on the store, what he has in the company, but also to understand what he's aiming for, what are his concerns, what are his professional targets in future. And of course, we will see why this is important in future negotiations. And the last one would be mastering the feelings, because for me, it's quite related to knowledge is power. And what are his concerns, or what are his future goals, but we have to show him that we do really care about it and somehow use it to kind of personalize as well our negotiations or offers. So he can feel like he's, understood and that your offer is somehow aligned with what he's trying to do in future. So this one is the latest one we did see. It involves, to me, quite some important points that I consider would be like the most key ones about building trust in a relationship. The very first one for me would be the empathy. It's quite important that your lead feels valued, as I just mentioned, that they feel like you respect what they do and you really respect what are his personal objectives in future. The second one, for me, it's quite difficult sometimes, but it's transparency. Please avoid lying to your lead. It's quite important that even though maybe what he's looking for is not aligned with what you can offer to them or what your company can offer to them. And that's good. Maybe it's good not closing a deal with this lead because you cannot reach what he's looking for. It's okay. But don't try to make some kind of fake expectations on him that are not going to work out, because at the end of the day, you are going to kind of lose this kind of confidence that comes from him. And of course, you are going to, at some point, lose this lead that can bring you maybe in another time, another good opportunity. And consistency, this one could be like the hardest one. I don't know about your inboxes, about your LinkedIn inboxes, but I don't even reply to my friends on WhatsApp. It's quite hard sometimes, a lot of messages get lost. It's super hard to catch up with your leads. But it's a super important point because no one wants to feel ghost. I don't know who from you ever feel ghost, maybe in your personal life or whatever. But of course, you can go to therapy, but not your lead. You basically are going to lose your lead if they feel like they are not important enough for you or that their project is not really important enough for you. So make sure that somehow you try to catch up with them quite often, especially in the negotiation stage, because you can have a lot of problems if they feel like they are not a real priority for you. So here we jump into Keep It Sexy, actually. This one, for me, it's quite fun to do because it's about personalizing the whole offer and the structure of your offer. You have to understand that, as I put up here, it has been proven by neuromarketing that humans feel way much attracted to something that can be appealing or catchy. Of course, we all like attractive stuff. So we should do the same with the offers or with your approach. To be honest, my best tip in here is that you should optimize your offer, making like super clear structures that can even be like visually appealing or catchy. That can be something that your lead feels like he has all the information in front of him. And this way you are going to avoid that later he will have like, a lot of questions about the process, about what's the offer, about how these stages are going to work, when he's going to receive the money, and blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, if you don't put much effort on this, it's quite probably that he's going to have 100 of questions that it's going to be a whole headache for you. For this one, I decided to do this super simple example, actually, about what you shouldn't do, but we all have done at some point of our professional career. And maybe one super simple example that it's something that could work out even better. I don't mean that this is not going to work out, to be honest, because, creating an email like this, it's true that sometimes can work out. It's okay because it includes some of the basic information. But it's not as visually appealing as this other one that you have on the right place. Because it's like you have the information way more structured. It's more likely that he's going to understand better what's the structure. And of course, this is something that you can also use along with another table in which you explain what are the next stages. Like what is going to happen after the offer, when are the payments are going to be made. It's something that I personally like to do because they are going to feel like they have the whole information in front of them, and it's going to make the negotiation process even better than just looking at this email. Like it's, okay, read this email and tell me if you agree on this offer or not. And of course, this one is showing a lot of way more low effort than taking some time to create a table and maybe some structures on how the acquisition process really works. This one, actually, I wanted to highlight it quite a lot. It's about emphasizing the value of your offers. Probably most part of you or all of you works on the mobile gaming industry. And probably all of you already know how changing is this industry. It's super crazy, especially when it comes to acquiring games or apps. The gaming industry is super volatile. It's changing every day. So a game's performance is not going to be the same today, not even tomorrow, because most part of the games nowadays are based on trends or something like that. So we must make sure that we make our leads understand that your offer is not forever. Like it's temporary. Maybe 1 month could be even vital. So make sure you make them understand that your offer is probably just 1 week, more or less. So actually, because the feeling of urgency or exclusivity can trigger some feeling of missing out, which are familiar about nowadays. And of course, this is going to increase the possibility that they are going to make the decision even faster, and they are going to understand the importance of your offer. And about getting emotional, this would be probably one of my favorites. Because, as I said at the beginning, it's quite important that we understand that behind your lead, there's a whole person. This person, of course, has his goals, his personal targets, his professional targets, and he wants to feel understood. Neuromarketing has also shown that most decisions are made based on emotions before being rationalized. So it's quite important because if your lead already feels some kind of emotional attachment to you, even if he's not your friend, but he's feeling like you really understand what are his goals, probably he's going to take this decision even faster than you think, because in his mind, he probably has taken it. As I said, it's important that if they have personal or professional goals, you should always highlight it and take it into account when it comes to structuring your offers. And of course, by showing you really care about their desires, about what are his professional goals, they are going to take you into account in future deals. Not only about to close this one deal, but from bringing you a lot of new opportunities in future. And he's going to become your lead for life. So here's the breakdown of all the points we just shown. It would be always try to prioritize understanding your leads' behavior, personalizing their experience, adapt that to their needs, taking good care of your offer structures, and make them clear and catchy, knowing the value of your offers, because the market is super crazy nowadays. And of course, appealing to the value of your offers, so they can see that there's a lot of things that can be changed into their professional and personal lives through your offer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Herlinda. And personally, thank you for the memes. I really enjoy that. So, any questions here? Can you? Okay.
Thank you for the talk. That was interesting.
Thank you.
But while you were talking about the approach to lead, I wanted to ask you, do you work with more Western civilizations or with Asians? And if there's any difference?
That's a good question, actually, because I like a lot the Asian markets, and I know that it can be super tough. I want to point here that sometimes, I didn't mention it on the presentation, but some of these points can take even a longer time when it comes to the Asian market, because I don't know how many of you have worked with this market before, but they are super closed, and they often might need someone of their, closed environment that recommend you for them. So with this environment, of course, these tips can work out, because after all, it's quite even more important to create this trust and confidence bond with them. But it's going to take a way long time with this kind of markets, indeed.
Thank you.
Any other questions? No? Can I ask one then?
Yeah.
I've been wondering, how can you put a time limit on your offer that you mentioned? For you said that you're doing it to create a FOMO, kind of, but how can you not create the anxiety and then also keep the people happy without creating anxiety? So you actually care about them, but
It kind of depends on the relationship with your lead, to be honest, because there are some times you already have some level of confidence with this lead, and also you can tell them clearly that they should answer to you in a certain amount of time, let's say a week or 2 weeks. But if not, you can also follow up to them. If they are taking ages to respond to an offer, you can just catch up with them, maybe have a quick call with them, and make them understand that you need them to take the decision as fast as possible. Because if not, you are going to back off. And probably you are not even going to back off because you are interested in to close the acquisition. But at least you are doing already dispatch, and you are going to, trying to trigger him to make this decision way faster than before. That's more or less how you handle it. Of course, it depends on this kind of level of confidence that you already managed to create at the beginning. But there are some stuff you already can do for pushing your lead. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.